Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your transformation empowerment expert, Keith Sakers. And listen, I want to drop you guys a really quick message for today. And our message is centered around actually a question that I asked on yesterday, which was this: what is the one thing that you would not allow to hold you back in 2020, right? What is that one thing that you refuse to allow to hold you back in 2020? And I want to thank you all for your answers and, number one, your honesty. I mean, I got a lot of answers, and you know, it takes a lot to be transparent about the things that you struggle with that are holding you back. And I just want to, number one, commend every one of you guys for answering that question. I got questions, I got answers like, I won't allow other people's opinions of me to, determine, my decisions or stop me from achieving my goals. I mean, that's big. I had, people say, I want to leave behind certain addictions and certain things that I know are holding me back that are not good for me. I mean, a lot of different great answers, but I think the number one answer that I received out of the bunch is something that we all deal with, and we deal with it regularly. It's not a stranger to any of us. And that one answer was fear. I received so many answers about not allowing fear to hold you back. And so I thought it was appropriate that we actually talk about and address that specifically, right? Fear. Now, a lot of people, when they look at fear, they have an acronym that we use often. People say, fear is nothing more than false evidence appearing real. And I think that's a great acronym, but the thing is, that acronym is really a situational truth. It's true, but it's situational truth. Because here's the reality. There are things that you should naturally be afraid of. Like, period. There are just some things that you should naturally be afraid of. You see, fear is designed to tell you that there is danger present, or there is a possible harmful situation around the corner. That's what fear is. It is a very powerful but natural emotion. And every person has that emotion. So instead of that acronym of false evidence appearing real, most people, if we're being honest, subscribe to the acronym of fear being forget everything and just run, right? Forget everything and run. That's probably the more accurate acronym for fear. Forget everything and run. So let's really talk about and address fear, because here's the thing. I think if we can really truly understand fear and what it does and how it affects us, and then I'm going to give you 3 things that I think will help you to begin to overcome your fears. So one of the things about fear is that fear will keep you from achieving any and every goal you have. It'll stop you from starting that business you want. It'll stop you from writing that book you want to write. It'll stop you from going back to school. It will stop you from actually loving a person completely and totally, right? Fear will just completely paralyze and arrest everything you do. Fear also impacts your behavior. Like, you have to overcompensate in order to accommodate your fear. We do that. And here's a really interesting thing about fear. Fear will also introduce you to your real self. Fear will introduce you to the real you, because it will start to expose certain character traits and flaws and things of that nature and how you respond. Fear is it's a powerful, powerful emotion. Now, just like any other emotion, fear is not a good or bad emotion. Like, every emotion that we have, whether it's anger, happiness, joy, whatever the emotion is, it's designed for a purpose. It is a natural emotion, so it's not good or bad. The problem lies in if we stay in the state of whatever that emotion is too long, and we don't respond to what that emotion is trying to get us to respond to. Hear me on that. So, how do we address fear? And I think the first thing we have to do is redefine how we view fear. And let's start like this. Understand that fear is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. The enemy is your response to that fear. So if we want to change the way we handle fear, we have to change the way we respond to fear. And technically, the way we respond to fear is a very learned behavior. A lot of us have learned how to respond to fear, whether it's positive or negatively. we watch our family, we watch our parents respond to fear, and then we actually pick up certain things. There are certain traumatic experiences that may have happened in our lives that cause us to respond to fear or respond to things in a certain way. You know, as a kid, I was very small, for a young kid, like always the smallest one in my class, and so I was bullied a lot. There was always like one kid, no matter what grade I was in, there was always one kid that was, when I was in grade school, that would bully me. And this one kid just followed me. It seems like he just followed me everywhere I went. And I'll never forget this. I was so afraid of this guy because he was always big. He was always, making gestures like he wanted to beat me up. And, and it would cause me to do things that I normally would not do. Like fear would make you do that, right? I would get on the bus, and he would bully me on the bus, and I would actually get off the bus at a stop that was either a couple stops past my own actual stop or before, and I would walk the long walk home. And the funny thing is, even doing that, my fear would make me believe that he was hiding behind a bush somewhere waiting on me to come out, right? Or he was gonna be waiting for me at my front door. It never happened. But I'll tell you what was funny is that one day I got so fed up that I decided I was going to face that fear. I was going to face that bully. And we're on the bus one day, and I'll never forget, he was messing with me, and I just let loose. And I started swinging. Now, granted, I couldn't fight. I had never been in a fight. It was my first fight. Never been in a fight. And I was just swinging. I had my eyes closed, swinging. I don't even think I hit the guy. I think I had hit other people that were on the bus. I didn't even hit the guy. But what happened afterwards is that the guy realized that I was no longer afraid, and he had no more power over me. Hear me on this. When you face your fear, you no longer are subject to having something to have power over you. Like, you now can own it. You take your power back. So, how do we start to overcome fear? Well, 3 things. I'm going to give you this really quickly. I'm going to let you go. Number 1, anything that you're fearing, like any time that you fear something, what I want you to do is I want you to visualize yourself actually doing the thing that you're afraid of. Like, no matter what it is. I want you to see yourself in the act of doing it. Visualize yourself over and over and over again. Because what's going to happen is when you do that, it's going to really set in your own subconscious mind that, you know what, this is an acceptable response to this fear, which means now your behavior and your response can actually match what you see in your mind, right? Your response and your behavior will respond the way you've just visualized now attacking that problem. So visualize you responding and overcoming that fear. The number 2 is I want you to adopt a do-it-now attitude. Right? Hear me on this. You have to adopt the do-it-now attitude. A do-it-now attitude simply is this. Whatever comes your way, whether it's fear or something you need to respond to, you do it now. You're right? A do-it-now attitude resolves a plethora of issues. For people who have an issue with follow-up or procrastination, procrastination and follow-up issues are really based out of things that you're afraid of as well. Like, you may be afraid of, how they may receive you, or afraid of they won't accept you or reject you. They may be afraid of whatever you're creating is not good enough, so you procrastinate in submitting it. We all fall into that, and all experienced that before. But when you have a do-it-now attitude and you train yourself to do it now, you literally have to say to yourself, do it now. Matter of fact, I want to challenge you for the rest of this year until the end of this year, every single day, say to yourself 10 times, do it now. So anytime something comes up that you need to respond to, your first response is to do what? Do it now. And then once you do it now, you move to step 3. And step 3 is to simply face the fear. It is to now go after that thing that you are afraid of and face it. When you do that, here's what happens. Fear is directly tied to your happiness or your unhappiness. Because when you decide to not attack an issue, it will cause you unnecessary stress and unhappiness, which can also lead to ongoing mental health issues, depression, anxiety, you name it. Now think about a time that you've actually faced a fear, overcome it. What did it do to your confidence? Through the roof, right? Your self-esteem through the roof. Your happiness levels went up through the roof. So address it. Because if you don't, you'll fall into things like denial. One of the worst things you can be is a person who is in denial. Like, when you're in denial, that means you reject the truth. And you reject it so much that you also start to adopt other emotions because of that rejection, like anger. You get angry. Because now you are defending something that you don't want to accept as truth, even though you know it's truth. That's a hard place to be. So when you address that issue head on, just like any kind of muscle that you have, it will get stronger over time. And before you know it, facing your fears will be like second nature. Doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It just means that your response to it is to face it head on. And that's courage. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was helpful for you guys. As I always sign off, remember the world is waiting on you to face your fears, waiting on you to go out and do the things that you need to do and to share your gifts and your abilities. So don't be late. We'll see you later next time. Peace.